Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a story. A 17-year-old, fresh out of prison, battling addiction, who then goes on somehow to sell 3 software companies in just a decade and builds a personal net worth over $100 million. I mean, it sounds like something from a movie, right? Almost like he found some kind of cheat code for life. Today, we're taking a deep dive into precisely how someone like Dan Martell, the entrepreneur behind this incredible journey, actually did that. We're going to pull out 5, pretty surprising principles that can really shift your relationship with money and success. Make these complex ideas clear, actionable for you.
Yeah, it's important to stress this isn't about some get-rich-quick scheme or anything like that. What Martell's work really outlines is a profound shift in mindset. It's moving away from just relentlessly chasing success to what more subtly but powerfully attracting it. So our mission today is to distill these core strategies, help you understand not just what they are, but like why they unlock this different level of abundance.
Yeah, you're about to hear some ideas that might fundamentally challenge how you've maybe always thought about building wealth. So get ready, because these insights, honestly, they could genuinely change your game. Okay, so let's dive right into the first principle. Martell's journey, it began with that classic hustle, didn't it? Like 100-hour weeks in his first company, Spheric Technologies. He sold it for millions, which sounds great, but looking back, he realized something, profound. Today, he says he makes 100 times more money working half the time. Now, that's not just about working smarter, it's a fundamental shift, right? From chasing money to building skills that actively attract it.
Exactly. And what's really transformative here is this whole concept of becoming an attractive character. Money, opportunities, those high-value connections, they don't just materialize out of thin air. They naturally gravitate towards specific, really valuable skills. And these skills, they always seem to boil down to one of 3 things for other people. Either save money, make money, or crucially, save time. Think about it. Truly world-class marketing, or maybe expert-level sales, or even, a really nuanced understanding of something complex like advanced tax strategy, or super relevant today, applying AI automation effectively. The goal isn't just like being competent, it's about becoming demonstrably world-class in whatever area you choose.
Okay, world-class. That sounds pretty intimidating, doesn't it? But Martell actually gives a remarkably clear 3-step process for getting there. It's quite practical. First, he says, you absolutely have to be specific. Ask yourself, who can I genuinely help? What specific, concrete problem do they have? He uses the example of how many people right now are struggling with understanding AI, how to leverage it. If you can solve that specific problem for them, bam, you're immediately valuable.
Right, nail the niche.
Exactly. Then, second step, design the path. How do you actually learn this new skill quickly, efficiently? And this is wild. He literally tasks AI, like GPT, with creating his learning plan. He uses a prompt, something like, create me a detailed 12-week course on AI automation, find the best YouTube videos, structure the curriculum, link everything up, keep it to an hour a day at lunch. Make it the least amount of effort to become the most proficient, using AI to learn AI, basically.
That's smart. Leveraging the tool itself.
For sure. And then the third step is simple, but maybe the hardest. Execute and master your craft. You've got to go deep, not wide, don't dabble, because the top clients, the best collaborators, they aren't looking for generalists. They want to work with the proven masters.
And I can already hear people thinking, okay, that still sounds like a lot of work. It sounds hard. And Martell, he tackles that directly. He basically says, yeah, it is hard. Nothing valuable has ever come easy. That's precisely what makes it valuable.
The difficulty itself is the barrier to entry, right? Fewer people are willing to put in that sustained effort. It's like that saying, new levels, new devils. Continuous growth, it just demands embracing challenge, not trying to sidestep it. So the foundation then for attracting serious money, it isn't just about grinding away, working hard. It's about becoming a true master of a valuable skill that solves a real problem others need solved. And okay, so once you've attracted those opportunities with your high-value skills, Martell's next principle completely flips the script on how you should get paid. Forget the hourly rate. His principle is charge for the result, the outcome, not your time. He mentions people paying him 6 figures for a single hour of his time. How does that even work? It's clearly not about the 60 minutes on the clock.
No, absolutely not. It's about the condensed wisdom, the strategic impact he delivers in that hour. It's the brand association, too, and almost 3 decades of hard-won entrepreneurial experience packed into that interaction.
That's such a powerful reframe.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's what separates, the true masters from people just trading time for money. People aren't paying for the clock, they're paying for the solution.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that classic story of the electrician called to fix a huge factory machine that's gone down. She comes in, listens, looks around, taps one specific spot for maybe 5 minutes. The machine roars back to life, and she hands the owner this $10,000 invoice.
Wow, for 5 minutes.
Right. And the owner's obviously shocked, asks for a breakdown. She writes, $100 for the time spent tapping, $9,900 for knowing where to tap.
See, the value is entirely in the insight, the knowledge, not the minutes spent.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And Martel really hits on something he calls the punishment of efficiency when you charge by time. If you're paid hourly, there's actually this, perverse disincentive to get better, faster, or more efficient, isn't there?
Totally. Why would you automate part of your job or figure out a shortcut that saves hours if being slower literally means you get paid more?
Yeah, it actively discourages innovation and creating real value. So to really make that shift, to get paid for the outcome, Martel suggests 3 clear steps. First, define a really clear, specific problem you solve. Don't try to be a generalist. Help clients with one thing, but do it exceptionally well. He says something like, if you're everything to everyone, you're nothing great to anyone. Makes sense.
Be the specialist.
Exactly. Second, design a process that, as much as possible, guarantees an outcome. He uses his own coaching as an example. He created a system, the 5 daily non-negotiables, which, if clients actually follow it, genuinely guarantees business growth. He poses this great question. If you only got paid if your client got the result, how would you design your process? That forces you to engineer for success, doesn't it?
That really changes how you'd approach it.
Right. And third, sell the value, not the price. Value is subjective, sure, but it's made up of things like the client's time saved, the speed you deliver the result, the actual impact it has, the quality of the experience working with you, and of course your reputation.
So it's a complete paradigm shift. You move from selling units of your time to selling the tangible, sometimes life-changing impact you deliver. And that's where your earning potential can just, explode. Okay, this leads us nicely into Martel's third principle, which again really challenges the conventional idea of wealth. He says a cash pile, just having a big lump sum of money sitting there isn't actually the ultimate goal. He saw this firsthand, he mentions, with a lot of the crypto millionaires during the big boom a while back.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? They suddenly had these huge sums on paper, but many became, as he puts it, prisoners of their wealth, constantly checking prices, stressed when it dropped, euphoric when it rose. But they hadn't learned how to actually manage it, or more critically, how to consistently generate more money. The skill wasn't there.
That is such a crucial distinction. It's not about a one-off windfall, is it? It's about developing the skill, the repeatable ability to consistently attract and create money. Because if you possess that skill, even if you lost everything tomorrow, you could rebuild. You're not dependent on that fixed pile. The true measure of financial strength, he argues, isn't the pile, it's how consistently you can make it.
Exactly. And the power that comes from predictability, the kind consistent cash flow provides, is just immense. Martel apparently learned this really early, even back when he was 17, from building software businesses based on subscription models.
Recurring revenue, the holy grail for many businesses.
For sure. Because predictable cash flow means you can predictably hire good people. You can predictably invest in growth. You can predictably plan for the future, predictably save. It just smooths everything out, moving you from chasing individual transactions to building long-term compounding value.
And this really crystallizes a fundamental business insight he shares. A business doesn't fail because of low profits. It fails because it runs out of cash. You can't pay your team or your suppliers with profits on a spreadsheet. You need actual spendable cash in the bank. Yeah, cash is king, as they say.
Always.
And Martel shares that his own billionaire mentors, they fundamentally think in terms of flows, not totals. They seem to care far less about the total valuation of an asset, and far more about how much consistent, predictable cash flow that asset produces month after month, which they can then redeploy elsewhere. He puts it really bluntly. A $100 case per month is actually more impressive than being a millionaire.
How so?
Because if you're consistently generating $100,000 every single month, you've proven you know how to make $1 million every 10 months, over and over again. That's the engine of true wealth creation, not just having $1 million sitting there once.
Okay, wow. So sustainable wealth really hinges on that consistent generation, the skill of making money, rather than just holding on to a static lump sum.
Got it. Right. This brings us neatly to Martel's fourth principle, and this one I think is going to hit home for a lot of us listening. Stop counting other people's money. He tells this anecdote about meeting a guy named Rob at some event. And within like 36 seconds, Rob is just rattling off how much everyone else is supposedly making online. You know, this guru did X million on their launch. That influencer makes Y per month.
Oh, I know the type. We all do.
Exactly. But then Martel turns it around and asks Rob about his own business. Like, what were your daily or weekly earnings? What are your revenue trends looking like for the year? And Rob, completely blank, couldn't answer. He knew everyone else's numbers, but not his own. Wow. That's a powerful and sadly common trap, isn't it? Because true financial winning, it comes from the working and the doing, as Martel puts it, not from passively wishing or hoping that you'll somehow magically catch up to someone else's highlight reel. And he offers that crucial caution. Don't compare your chapter 3 to somebody else's chapter 13. Just because someone seems successful or is older, it doesn't show the years of struggle or hidden effort that went into it. The focus absolutely has to be internal on your race, your numbers.
So how do you do that practically? Martel gives 3 extremely concrete steps he personally uses to keep that focus squarely on his own financials. First, and this might sound intense, he checks his bank account daily. He gets a daily cash email summarizing everything across all his company's personal assets, revenue, tracking every single penny. He really encourages you, the listener, to personally log in and review your own numbers every single day. Get intimate with them.
That takes discipline.
It does. Second, he has weekly pillars. Every Friday, he measures himself on 7 key life areas, and one is explicitly money. He scores himself 1 to 10 on how he did financially that week. Did he make money? Save money? Do some important strategic financial planning? And if the score is low, say a 3 or 4, he commits right then to one specific action he'll take the following week to improve that score. Small, consistent steps.
Accountability built right in.
Exactly. And third, he does a monthly P&L, a personal profit and loss statement, just like a business would. He calls this honoring that process of counting your own money. And yeah, he admits it sounds super not fun, but he insists it's absolutely essential groundwork if you're serious about getting rich.
So it becomes really clear is that this diligent, consistent, and intensely internal focus, just tracking your own finances meticulously, is the bedrock. It's far more effective ultimately than getting distracted by external comparisons or, wishful thinking about other people's success.
Okay, this brings us to Martel's 5th and final principle. And honestly, for me, this might be the most illuminating one. It's all about how you actually use money. Seeing it as a tool, not as the ultimate goal itself. He tells this kind of poignant story about his friend's dad, a food truck owner. This guy worked tirelessly, relentlessly for 42 years, hoarding cash in his house because he didn't trust banks.
Wow, 42 years.
Yeah, worked all week prepping food, driving the truck, selling, cleaning, rarely saw his family. Yet despite making decent cash, he never leveraged it to actually improve his life, never hired help, never bought back any of his time. He essentially just built himself a low-paying, incredibly high-stress job, even though the cash was there.
Oof. That story really drives home the core idea Martel presents. Money doesn't fundamentally change who you are, it just amplifies what's already there. And he argues the true purpose of money isn't just to sit in a pile, to be counted. It's meant to be a powerful tool for leverage, used to fundamentally improve your life situation.
Yeah.
He puts it so well. Freedom isn't found in your bank account, it's found in your calendar. The highest, best leverage use of money is actually to buy back your most precious, completely non-renewable asset, your time.
And he lives this, right, he applies this principle directly to his own life in a way that, it almost feels like cheating the system. He talks about strategically deploying money to hire what he calls his team Martel, specific people like Ann, Betty, Sam, Todd. These aren't just employees. They collectively give him back, he estimates, 40, 50, even 60 hours a week each.
That's incredible leverage.
It really is. This isn't just about basic delegation. It's about consciously buying back his freedom. Freedom to spend quality time with loved ones, to travel, or to focus on the unique creative work that only he can do. For pretty much everything else, he'd rather deploy money to gain that time leverage back.
And he says it's genuinely heartbreaking to see so many, well-meaning entrepreneurs out there working themselves literally to death because they simply don't understand how to delegate effectively, how to use money to reclaim their time. He even offers a really practical resource for this. Apparently, he has a 42-page internal document he uses for training an executive assistant. And you can get access just by messaging him YouTube EA on Instagram. pretty generous.
That's very cool.
And this is really where that concept of cheating, the game comes full circle, isn't it? The only way you'll end up making so much money that it actually feels like play is by designing the process itself, the work, to be something you find enjoyable and exciting. It's doing what feels like play to you that other people might see as work. That's the sweet spot.
Wow. What an incredible journey we've just taken through Dan Martell's 5 really powerful principles. Let's recap quickly. 1, build skills that attract money, don't just chase it. 2, charge for the results you deliver, not just your time. 3, prioritize consistent cash flow over static cash piles. 4, focus intensely on counting your own money, stop comparing. And 5, use money as a powerful tool for freedom, particularly calendar freedom, not as the end goal itself.
Absolutely. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening to mull over. If the ultimate purpose of money truly fight is to buy back your time so you can do more of what you love and live the life you want, what is just one specific actionable step you could take this week to reevaluate how you're currently using your money, specifically to gain more freedom in your calendar?
That's a great question to end on. These insights, coming from someone who has not only played the game of wealth, but really seems to have rewritten its rules, they can absolutely transform your approach, not just to your finances, but maybe more importantly, to your life itself.